A deadly motorcycle crash in Rockford raises questions about what investigators can uncover after a serious accident. Deputies say in many cases, critical evidence may already exist before officers even arrive on scene.
WIFR's Madeline Korzanuski shows us how investigators are turning to technology to piece crashes together.
We've had officers that have died off duty due to a motorcycle accident.
Investigators say vehicle crashes are some of the hardest scenes to work.
A lot of times we're not there. We have to rely on video evidence.
Both cameras virtually everywhere, police can many times get a break.
Almost everyone nowadays has security cameras around their home, around their business. Almost everyone has some kind of camera around them, whether they know it or not. Maybe we didn't know that someone had video of something.
Deputies say the video doesn't even need to capture the actual crash itself.
Cameras don't lie, right? They paint a picture of what the environment was pre-crash, during the crash, and after the crash.
And Smith says the vehicles involved also tell a story.
A lot of people do not realize how much information is on modern cars. We're able to download substantial amounts of data that would show speed, brake pressure, different accelerometers and stuff that are in the vehicle, so we can put back together what was going on at the scene prior to the impact of both vehicles.
But Illinois State Police say many crashes are caused by dangerous decisions.
Unfortunately, a lot of the crashes that happen, especially with this holiday weekend coming up, is there's alcohol involved or maybe even drugs.
One motorcycle rider agrees and says something even small can put lives in jeopardy.
What a lot of people don't realize is extremely dangerous to riders is lawn clippings. When they mow their lawn and everything goes out on the road, that's like ice for motorcycles.
In the state line, Madeline Korzanuski, WIFR News.
Deputies say if anyone believes they have captured footage connected to a crash, they're encouraged to contact investigators.